Hey folks, my Wingnut Wings Sop with Camel is done. I put the ailerons on, the control lines, finished the bracing lines for the landing gear, did a little bit of touch-up, although I always see that there's more that can be done in terms of touch-up paint, especially on leading edges of wings, but there's one thing left, and that's the cross bracing wires that run across between the cabane struts, crisscrossing the Vickers machine guns. So right in this area here, and you can see that the bracing wires on the sides are in place, but not these pieces. Now, what's so difficult about that? Just cross in two lines of flexible line or two of the pieces of the flat bracing wire that came in my aftermarket kit, but it isn't quite that simple. Let me show you. Because what we're dealing with here with the Sop with Camel is there are actually two lines or four lines depending on how you want to count them, but they come in crisscrossed, but they meet with sort of an aerodynamic juncture or attachment point right there in the middle. And I'm trying to make sure there. So you can see that there's an arrow, and between the cabane struts, we've got, this is for the rigid line, two separate or four separate pieces of line. Okay. So what's the big deal? Put them in. Well, let me show you just what the size is of that attachment. What do we want to call the shape of that thing? It's not a sphere. It's oblong, I guess. And there are two of the pieces of the wire, but just to give it some perspective of how damn small that is. Okay. There's my finger. So it becomes, can I really, with my skills, attach four pieces of rigid line wire going out in parallel top and bottom, but crisscrossed at different angles into four extremely tiny holes, barely visible, not made easier because, of course, this little thing was attached to a sprue, and the tabs of attachment were almost as big as the piece itself. I'll tell you, getting those sanded down, mostly, without losing the piece, was a major challenge. Okay, so, well, forget about trying to stick in four pieces of flat wire. Use the model cast-in line. Yeah, okay, that may be slightly easier to attach with, microscopic drops or dabs of CA glue. But then trying to string it up between in here and attempting to hold that frickin' little piece in place, either with reverse pressure tweezers or regular tweezers, almost guaranteed that that is going to fly out, at least the way I handle the instruments, It is going to be gone in a heartbeat. Believe me, I've lost much bigger pieces. And when you're dealing with something that's round and curved and really tiny in a pair of tweezers, that, is designed to fly across the room. It's too small to hold with your fingers. Let me see if no way. Good luck with that. So I think I just have to surrender and say, that just ain't going to happen. I can do an alternative, which is just cross some generic flat wire. And that's probably what I'll do, although it's going to be tricky for the angles because I can see why the joint met above the machine guns, the baseline of the Vickers machine guns is probably right about where those lines would meet. Or in order to clear them with just 2 lines, they wouldn't attach at the proper lower points on the cowling. I don't know if any of that made sense, but yeah, I'm giving up. I'm giving up on those last little pieces of line. I know there are folks out there who have succeeded with this damn little piece of plastic and putting in rigging and getting that all in place. There are successful builds of the Wingnut Wings Sopwith Camel that have got that piece immaculately in place. But it's way over my pay grade. So I'm just going to be content with the build now, and I'm going to fix that little burnished or rubbed off place on the leading edge of the top wing, and then this goes on the shelf, and we just won't talk about that crossed over wire or how anybody reasonably can expect a normal human being, an average modeler, to handle pieces that small. Hey, I'm not a shipbuilder, for crying out loud, and I don't do PE very well either. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. Hey, I'm still happy about the plane and the kit and the build. I enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.